Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alaihim ghairil maghdubi alaihim waladdallin. Amin. I begin, as I always begin, in the name and with the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And what I'm going to speak about right now, brothers and sisters, is something that needs to be brought into clarification of one who seeks the redemption of his creator, that seeks the justification of his creator and the things that he may do or she may do that they fall into shortcoming. And I'm going to use my favorite ayah in the Quran to speak on what I'm about to speak on. See, there's an ayah inside of the Quran that literally says that Allah knows that which appears to all his creation, as before, as behind, and in front. Literally meaning in the future, the past, and inside of your soul. So I'm going to say something. See, you have to remember, I constantly speak to you about the fact that we literally are living in a time where we're going to be called to our Lord for judgment. We're going to be called to our Lord for judgment. And the Prophet Isa, or as you know him, the Prophet Jesus, sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Jesus took the 10 commandments and he surmised those 10 commandments into 2 commandments, which covers the whole thing. And the first commandment is to love God with your whole heart, your whole soul, your whole mind, and your whole body. That's commandment number 1. Commandment number 2 is this: to love your brother as you would love yourself, or to want for your brother what you would want for yourself. So I'm going to say this to you. You walk into a store. You know that you jumped up that morning, didn't do your hair. You still wearing them dusty, busty pajama pants that you had for about 15 years, right? Still got crust in your eyes and all types of stuff. But you go into the store because you literally just wanted to go and grab some milk because you want to make pancakes or whatever the situation may be. And everybody in the store is staring at you. And they're sitting in there saying their little things, whatever they're saying to each other. And then you start feeling uncomfortable. You start feeling some type of way inside of your heart. You start feeling some type of way inside of your soul. You don't like that feeling. And neither does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He does not want you to sit there and berate or degrade the reputation of anybody. He is the judge. And as soon as you start to berate and judge somebody else outside, and let me say this because I'm going to clarify something because people hear me cast judgments all the time. I do that which my Lord sent me to do. He gave me the etiquette and the law and the Sharia and the fiqh and inside of the Levitical law for me to be able to know how to judge somebody according to the law of Allah. So if I'm casting judgment on you, I'm not casting judgment on you based upon my opinion. I'm casting judgment on you based upon an act that you committed that fell into one of the categories of judgment in the eyes of universal justice, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one that calls you to attention. It's that simple. Want for your brother what you would want for yourself. And see, the thing is, when you take the protection of Allah, and you hear me say this all the time, I seek the protection of Allah in all I do so that it may give him glory. Do you understand? Do people understand the level and the weight of what you are calling upon when you take on the protection of Allah? When you take on the protection of Allah, you're literally saying, Allah, I have all faith in you, and you will be the adjudicator of whatever I do. You will be the adjudicator of whatever I do. And at that point in time, if somebody judges you or tries to berate you or slander you in any type of way, Allah already got you covered. He's like, you know what, you ain't got to get upset about that. Watch how I'm going to handle this. You know what I'm saying? Because at that point in time, you already called judgment upon yourself. When you seek the protection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that everything you do will bring him glory, what you're really saying is, only God can judge me, and I place myself before him for his judgment in what I'm about to do. So you're calling yourself to attention of judgment at that particular point. The second you say that, don't get me wrong, I tell you to say it all the time because of the fact that it will bring the protection of Allah into your life. It will bring the acceptance of Allah into your life. It'll bring the ability for you to befriend Allah into your life and the reality there of him. But I also want to tell you there's a flip side to that coin, that when you call upon the protection of Allah, you're calling upon the judgment of Allah. You're telling Allah that, Allah, I believe in my heart of hearts that my actions and my behaviors and my attitudes will be that which is in compliance to your will. And if it's not, you're my judge. You go and judge me. You go and judge me. See, what it does is it removes the factor of having to care about what anybody else thinks or says. Because that which you are going to meet on the day of judgment, you just gave him the ability to judge you in that very situation that you're in right then and there when you sought his protection. You see? So when we call upon the protection of Allah, when we sit there and we say, God help me, I hope you understand what you're saying. What you're really saying at the end of the day is you're saying, God help me now put myself in a situation that you're going to spank my ass. Because I know your judgment is going to be absolute. See, a person's opinion of you, a person's words against you in this world, they are the words of a mere mortal that holds no weight or any type of significance to your eternal soul. So, at the end of the day, what you worried about it for? See, that's what I want to teach my brothers and sisters. Worry not about those who speak against you, but worry about he who can condemn you to eternity. You know, the way that it says it in the Bible and the way that Jesus manifested it is he said that, do not fear those who can hurt the body, but fear he who can damn or destroy your eternal soul. So when you hear me walking around talking about I don't fear nothing but God, I fear Allah, I fear the judgment of Allah. That's what keeps me in line. That's what keeps me moving in the path of perfection. Does it mean that at any given time I could slip and fall? Yes, I could. I'm human. But I'm going to tell you why I won't. Mess with Allah. Allah will. Because of the fact that I have made Allah the adjudicator in everything I do. Everything I do. They're like, Sadiq, everything you do? Yes. So you want me to clarify? You want me to put myself out there? Yes, everything I do. Even if it means I'm about to go slide off with somebody, bro, which I have all right to do because I'm not in any type of anything that condemns me from doing it, bro. I seek the protection of Allah so that he can be my judge, and I go do what I do because I understand that Allah allows me to enjoy the things in this world according to the rules and regulations of respect and integrity that he has held me to. And at the end of the day, nobody knows what goes on behind closed doors except for you, God, and the person you're behind closed doors on. So if anybody speaks on what they think you did, confirmation or affirmation is all on you. You see what I'm saying? To deny something in silence is not to be dishonest. See, to deny something in silence is not to be dishonest. Hey, I know you was over there doing such and such, such and such, such and such, such and such. You know that? How you know that? Oh man, I know you was. Okay, well as long as you know what is going on and I know what was going on, alhamdulillah, you keep on pushing. You keep on pushing. You know why? Because at the end of the day, your action that you have already committed has already been written in the book of judgment. And if you called upon the protection of Allah before you even did what you were going to do, it was called to judgment the second you were going to do it. And I'm going to tell you something about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you call upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala wholeheartedly from your chest, literally meaning from the depth of your soul, and you believe in that which you are calling, 99.9% of the time, and I'm only saying that because that 0.1% is the time that your ass just didn't listen. But 99.9% of the time, Allah is going to put you in a situation that is going to avert you from anything that's going to cause you harm or cause harm to somebody else, because you sought His protection in that which you were seeking to do. And in doing that, Allah going to send the angels and be like, they're going to put a thought in your head and be like, I don't know if you want to do that. Why wouldn't I? Just telling you, not free will. Do what you know. You might want to take that back to Allah again for etiquette. You might want to take that back to Allah again and look at what He gonna say. And I'm gonna tell you, brother, I say this to you all the time. Sisters, I say this to you all the time. If you have a question about Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and you don't know what you're getting into, you better do what you're supposed to do and grab that book. Ask that question and grab that book. And I'm going to tell you, that book is going to tell you what you need to know. You know how many people lately done got condemned by the book of truth? Literally, I open the book and I'll be like, you know what? Let me see what it's going to say. And it'll say something that is so blatantly obvious that what they are talking about is that particular situation that you have no choice but to be like, alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah, and you keep on pushing. And you keep on pushing. You know why? Because this is the other thing I want to talk about. See, when you cast judgment on your brother, there's something else that I really need you to understand about the cast of that judgment. And I want you to understand this clearly. The judgment that you cast upon your brother is that by which you will be judged. So I ask you this. In this life, where you know that your actions are laid before Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in all clarity, in absolute clarity, meaning there is nothing hidden from Him whatsoever. The only secret that is hidden from Allah, is that which He chooses to ignore. If Allah ain't trying to ignore it, He gonna know about it. And if He did ignore it, it means He knew about it and He just acted like He didn't see it. Which brings me to the next point, brother. We need to be more understanding about one thing in our life. And you heard me bring up the fact of taking the book and bringing the book into your life so that it'll become the administrator of that which you do, wrong and right. And then going in the book and looking and you see something and you're like, I know that this is what it was talking about because I just prayed about it. Okay, now this is where you got to take that step, brother. This is where you got to take that leap of faith. Are you going to hold on to something that Allah has just showed you? You asked for an answer, He gave you an answer, and then you're going to sit there and say, man, I don't think that's the answer that Allah would give me. I don't think that was the answer right here. No. Huh? Yes, I do, my brother. Oh, I'm blessed, brother. Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Not a problem, my brother. So, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, see, this is what He tells us. Seek, and you shall find. Ask, and you shall be answered. Knock, and the door will be open. He tells you can come to Him however you want. He said, you want to seek for something? You want to go looking for something? Call upon me, and we're going to go find it. You want to ask me something? Ask me something, and I'm going to give you the answer. You got an opportunity in your life that you feel keeps closing on you? Knock on the door in my name, and I'm going to let you in. But you know what He tells you in every one of those situations? If I give you the answer and it's not the answer you want, don't sit there bitch moaning and complaining to me, because I'm not going to accept it. If you seeking for something and I lead you to what you wanted to find and it's not what you wanted to hear and it's not what you wanted to see, don't sit there and be like, oh Allah, why did you tell me that I didn't want to know? You shouldn't have told me that you wanted to know. I wouldn't have presented it to you. And don't ever ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open the door for you that you know in your heart you ain't ready for. Because He's going to hold you to the obligation and responsibility of what's behind door number one. That's the one you want it, right? So see, this is why I call you to attention. I want to call you to see, I constantly keep telling you, we are in the end of days, brothers. We are in the end of days, brothers. And I want to tell you something about the end of days so you really understand what I am saying to you. The life expectancy of the average human being has gone from 60 to 70 to anywhere between 40 and 55. Now you populate that with the fact that Allah had already told you at the end of the day, like, listen, brother, when the last prophet comes and that last trumpet blast is blown, know that I am going to bring the judgment to the world. Know that I am going to bring the judgment to the world. And you know what you better say? You better tell Allah, listen, brother, I'm not ready to be on your bad side. I'm not ready to be on your bad side. Do you really want to gamble with your ass against God? You know, I want you to know that, bro. Do you really want to sit there and say, God, you know what? I don't think you're going to do nothing. I think you bluffing. I think you bluffing. Yeah, you ain't going to do nothing. You ain't going to do nothing. You love us too much. Remember that chick that you love so much that you walked away from for me? Yeah. What makes you think I won't leave you somewhere and I love you? Don't you think my love is greater than that which you could ever possess? So if you can walk away because I need you to, whatever makes you think that if you break my heart, I won't leave you in the trenches? Alhamdulillah. Thank God and Allah is a merciful God, because I can tell you this now. I know from my human existence, and I know from the existence of a lot of my brothers, that we fall short. And we probably do break his heart a lot. But the way that we break Allah's heart is not intentional. You see, if you're deliberately trying to break Allah's heart, and you know what, that's between you and him. I'm not even going to call it birth, because if you ask me to judge, you don't want to hear what I'm going to say to you, bro. Because I'm going to actually know, I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to tell you the best bet, right? I'm going to tell you the best bet, right? If you are literally sitting there constantly challenging Allah and sitting there denying that he will judge you, you better hope that before you die, that you run across the street and pick up a little kitty or something to save its life and then get hit by a car in the process, because at least then you'll probably get an agenda for sacrificing your life for another creation. Because I'm going to tell you right now, your way of thinking definitely ain't going to get you an agenda. You're going straight to Gehenna for stupid. They're going to be like, so Allah, what did we judge him for? Why did he go to hell? Oh, he just went to hell for being stupid. You can go to hell for that? Dang right you can. Stupid is what stupid does, and he really was stupid for sitting there thinking that he could test me. See, y'all gotta remember, as gangster as we can get, Allah is 70,000 million times more gangster than you can ever get, bro. And you don't believe me? You ever seen a lightning bolt hit a tree in the middle of a storm and see how quickly that shit splits in half? You tell me what bullet can do that. You don't need a grenade launcher, a rocket launcher, something like that to blow something like that apart. All Allah gotta say is, be. You be no more. And you be no more. So call upon yourself to your own self-judgments. And when you call upon yourself to be judged by Allah, know that you have to go to that by which he judges. Know that you have to go to that by which he judges. Literally, you have to go to that by which he judges. And I'm going to tell you what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala going to say. He's going to say yay and nay. Allah, is this what I should do? Stop looking in the book. Stop looking in the book. And he give you the answer. I don't want to hear after he gave you the answer. Like, man, I ain't what I want to hear. Why'd you ask me? My name is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm not here to tell you what you want to hear. I'm here to tell you what you need to hear. Just like my messenger. Peace and blessings be upon you. See, I'm not here to tell anybody what they want to hear. If I was here to tell you what you want to hear, I'd tell you point blank period. Like, listen, bro, it ain't none of my business what you do. You want me to be truthful? That's just my character. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil. I don't care at the end of the day what you do, because that's between you and God. You know what I'm saying? So if I had it my way, that's exactly what I'd be on. I'll try to tell you for my brothers that know what I'm saying when I'm saying this, bro. But I believe in that S&S for real, brother. For real. For real, for real, for real. Yeah. I grew up living by that, brother. I grew up living by in a house where my daddy literally would get pissed off if you tattletale, bro. Don't get it wrong. He gonna take the evidence. He gonna whoop your ass. But at the same time, he gonna be sitting there like, why did you tell on your little brother? Or why did you tell on your sister? Or why you telling on your brother? Like, what are y'all doing? Why don't you stick together? Y'all always telling on each other. You always telling on each other. See, because I'm gonna tell you something, right? I'm gonna lay something out there for you. There's a big difference between talking about somebody's business, and I'm gonna use the street term we all use, and snitching. There is a big difference. And I'm gonna tell you what the difference is. If you're talking about somebody's business and in the process of talking about their business, you speak on something you shouldn't speak on, that was just called an ignorant outburst. You should have shut your mouth and never said nothing to begin with about their business. But too many people gossip nowadays, bro. So at the end of the day, it's easy to get sucked into that trap. And then afterwards, you sit back and you think, you're like, damn, I shouldn't have said that, bro. You know, and whatever the situation is. Now you ask me what's snitching. This is what it is. If you sit there and you know that you have been entrusted with a secret, or that you have been entrusted with something that is held with value, that somebody has delivered to you, and you go and violate that trust, yeah, that's rat number one, bro. That's ratting all out the board, bro, because somebody said to you, listen, I'm telling you this, I'm letting you know this, so don't let nobody else know this. I mean, some things are quasi-contract where it's like you just know if it ain't your business, it ain't your business. You shouldn't be speaking on it anyway. So it's whatever. But at the end of the day, this is what I'm trying to clarify to you. If you are speaking about something that has nothing to do with you, I'm telling you now, you are already dancing with the devil and putting too much business out there that ain't got nothing to do with you. See, I'm gonna tell you my favorite thing to tell everybody. Mind your own business. Mind your business. Nation, what are you doing today? My business. None of your business. I used to get mad at me all the time because I used to say that. None of your business. Oh, right, yeah. Obviously, I'm telling you it's none of your business for a reason. It means one of two things. It ain't for you to know, or it has to do with somebody else that ain't for you to know about. At the end of the day, if you can't respect the fact that I'm the man and you're the woman, and I get to pick and choose what you need to know, and you don't have that option, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because at the end of the day, I'm the one that gotta clean your shit up if something goes wrong. I'm the one that everyone's gonna look at. Well, damn, why didn't your man handle that? Why didn't me? I couldn't do nothing about it because you all want to run around and keep secrets. So it's like, what can I do about it? So just let it go and run in the wind. I don't care. But a man's duty is to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. He needs to know everything that's going on inside of his kingdom. That's his right. But you ask any queen and anybody that's ever been subjected to a king or an emperor or some type of role of authority, they're going to tell you point blank period. Half the time, I don't know what the hell he's doing, but I know whatever he's doing, he's going to get it done. It just ain't for me. I put my trust in him because he puts his trust in God. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. I'm going to tell you my other favorite thing, and I love it. I love it. I know why I love it so much, because nobody ever seems to understand the veracity of what I'm saying. They don't understand the level of truth in what I'm saying and trustworthiness. Be careful what you ask me, because you might not want to hear what I'm going to tell you. You might not want to hear the truth I'm going to give you, because I'm going to tell you point blank period what it is. I might try to protect you a couple of times, and when you ask me, like, listen, man, just leave it alone. You don't need to know. Keep asking me. I'm telling you, it's none of your business. Listen, just leave it alone. Leave it alone. If you want to keep going at that point, hey, listen, I'm going to tell you everything you want to know, and then I'm going to tell you, you know what, alhamdulillah, because I did it in his name. Now what? You can judge me how you want to judge me. I already, you know, like I said, I already passed myself over to the judgment of Allah. So at that point in time, what's what? At that point in time, what's what? See, that's what you have to understand. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has called upon you to take account of the things that come out your mouth. It's a little word I like to use, brother. It's called prudence. Shut the heck up when you're supposed to shut the heck up. Do that which you are supposed to do. If it ain't got nothing to do with you, don't speak on it. Hey, you know such and such. Hold up, brother. What does anything that you about to tell me got to do with me? Oh no, but hold up. What does anything you gonna tell me got to do with me? Yeah, but hold up, listen, you're not getting my point. Shut up, I don't wanna hear it. It's none of my business, because if it was my business, the person that had to do it would have called my phone and said, you know what, Sadiq, I wanna tell you what I just did. And if they didn't call me to tell me their business, it's not your right to sit there and gossip about what the hell they did to me. I don't care at the end of the day. That's between them and Allah is the best adjudicator of any type of judgment. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Think what you want. Because I'm going to tell you this. One other thing I tell people that know about me, I used to say this all the time. My favorite movie in the world, is Reasonable Suspect. You know why? Because Kaiser Sosa was that dude. And I'm going to tell you why he was that dude. Because if you come to me and you ask me a question, I'll tell you, listen, I don't know nothing. And you want to keep pressing me like I know something, I'm going to know a whole bunch of stuff. But I guarantee everything I know ain't going to be nothing you want to hear. I'm having to chase your tail around. Talking about, man, yeah, and then, freaking Jimbo came over, dropped off in the plane, landed in the field, and dug up a grenade launcher. He had a grenade launcher. Man, listen, man, I ain't never seen no shit like that in my life. Now everybody's like, yo, Sadiq, isn't that telling a lie? No, it's not telling a lie. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I told you at the beginning I didn't know nothing. You wouldn't accept I didn't know nothing. So anything that's coming out my mouth at this point is clearly a story. I've already told you I'm gonna tell you a story. You wanted to hear something, right? You wanted to know something, right? Okay? Allah says we can tell stories. He says we just can't lie. It's like making a movie. Here we go. I used to do this with my girl all the time. You don't want to, like, listen, bro, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, but you do. No, I don't. But you know something. No, I don't. Yeah, but no, I don't. Yeah, but you have, okay, well, maybe I know them, but I don't know them like that. I know they're dating, you know what I'm saying? Maybe this person over here might know them. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. What? I know. Because everything I just said to you, I know is a lie, so I just verified the fact that you just gossiping about some shit you don't even know about. So now I really need to just step back. You see how easy you can play that card? See, you gotta understand, Allah is the seeker of truth, brother. He is the seeker of truth. And one of the names that he's bestowed upon me is to keep your secrets. Allah has given me the ability to be able to know what he knows when it comes to looking inside of the hearts of men. Unfortunately, I don't like it because I will tell you, people talk about their inner demons. You don't know about inner demons until you have the ability to look in somebody's heart and tell them what type of character person they are. And I'm gonna tell you from a human perspective, it's not a fun thing to do. It's not a fun thing to do, to be able to sit there and look at a person and be like, damn, that's really what type of person you are? And then think about it in the back of my mind, I'm like, dang, you know what, Allah? Please help this brother. Please help this sister. Because if this is what it's going to look like in a couple of months from now, or if this is going to look like in a couple of years from now, and you bring me back before them, and I have to adjudicate something they did, you already know what I'm going to say. You already know what I'm going to say. You already know what I'm going to say. I'm going to point blank put it out there. Be like, listen, you know what? They didn't want to change. I gave them a warning. I told them they needed to change their heart condition and get their life right. And I didn't tell them that it was my opinion. I show them in the book and I speak on the word, and they still didn't want to do it. At that point, you know what, Allah? Do what you got to do. Do what you got to do. You know, listen, this is the thing, brothers and sisters. We are in the last days of judgment. And I said it yesterday, and I said it the day before that, and I've been saying this since Allah called me to this mission. We are in our last days of judgment. And one thing you have to understand about being in the last days, it tells you in the Bible. I want to say I believe it's in the book of Corinthians. I might be wrong because I can't really think exactly, but I believe that's where it's at. But it tells you that at the end of times, men will be lovers of money rather than lovers of men. It says that, you know, that people will be just blatant liars. It says that there will be jealousy, there will be envy. It says that fathers and sons will turn against each other. You see how much of a picture is painted for you, how shitty things are going to be in the end? Now you tell me, looking around it every day of what you see, that you don't see the verification in what he said, that these are the last days. We are living in the last days. We are living in the last days. And I'm going to tell you what makes the last days so serious. I'll tell you what makes it so serious. Bad enough, you can get up in the morning and get out your bed, go to step into the shower, slip, brush your butt, slip over your head. a possibility. That is always a possibility. But now, not only that, so see, not only is that a possibility that at any given moment you can lose your life, which automatically sends you to judgment. We are in the last days, meaning the fact that God is going to call this world to accountability for everything that's going in. So you don't know when you're going to die, and you don't know when he's going to get fed up. So you got a double whammy going against you right now in the last days. See, you have more reason to want to get right with God right now than ever in history. You know, I said in one of my songs one day, right? I said there's 6 million ways to die. You choose one: acquired immune deficiency syndrome or a fully loaded handheld nuclear weapon. Now, if you really think about the fact of the distance of what I just said, you can either die from a disease or you can literally sit there and you can just have one of these button happy pushing, think that they just God of the world, push something, and next thing you know, half the world blown up. Bro, you got so many ways in this world right now to get your ass kicked. You better get right with God. You better get right with God. Because at the end of the day, it's that very moment that judgment comes upon you that you really gonna have to sit back and think, like, damn, I knew I should have paid that bill that day. I knew Allah was calling me to pay the bill that day for me to sit there and come and say, you know what, Allah, I know I was dead wrong. Please forgive me. I know I was dead wrong, Allah. Please forgive me. And you know what Allah gonna say? He gonna tell the angels, open the book. Open the book. Go back there and look in that book and see how many times he asked for my forgiveness and all the other bullshit he was doing. And then the angels gonna speak on it. Now, hey, the angels might say, well, you know what, generally, every time he does something, he feel bad about it and he seeks your forgiveness. It was just them couple of times. I don't know what he was doing, but he must have forgot what he was doing. And I'm gonna tell you what Allah gonna tell you, because Allah's already put this in the hadith about the man that was the murderer and where he died at, and when he was led, and Allah told the angel literally put him 2 more sword lifts forward from where he fell at. So if Allah looks at him, he's like, you know what, you've done more in the eyes and the sight of calling upon me and forgiveness than you ever have in objecting me. You in. You're in. See, Allah only asks us to strive. Allah does not ask you to be perfect, because I'm gonna tell you what, right? Perfection is a bill that is so hard to fill that by the time you figure out how to do it, you're already dead and gone. So don't seek for perfection. Seek for the strength to strive. Well, since you're the only one that didn't get involved in that whole situation, I can talk to you. Do you want help with the bags? I said, I do my duty to Allah. So, at the end of the day, what I will say is this. That Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has called us to account for our own actions. He has called us to account for our own actions. You can't call somebody else to account for their actions. You gotta call yourself to account for your actions. And when you call yourself to account for your actions, I want you to ask yourself, how many times you asked for Allah's forgiveness and the things that you were doing and you knew your butt shouldn't have been doing it? Because the flip side of that coin is this. All them times that you asked for forgiveness, how many times did you forgive your brother about some shit you didn't know about? Or how many times did you forgive your brother about some times when you really should have done something differently? And then guess what? You've already casted yourself to the judgment of Allah. You've already casted yourself to the judgment of Allah. Because at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you the type of person I am. I forgive, I don't forget. I cast it to the judgment of Allah and I let him deal with it. Why don't I forget? Because a lot of people be like, but Sadiq, you're a prophet. How you going to say that you forget but you don't forget? You know, Sadiq, how do you say that you literally, you can forgive him but you can't forget? I'm going to tell you why. You know what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says? And he tells you this. You can tell the character of a person by the actions that they present themselves by. So if you bite me once as a snake, I'm never going to stop thinking you're a snake. You can't get mad at a snake for biting you if you know it's a snake and you keep playing with it. The first time walking through the grass, the snake bites you, okay. Alhamdulillah, shit happens. But you stop running through the field barefoot where you know the snakes are and think you ain't going to get bit. So if I know you're a snake, I just don't play with you no more. It's that simple. That's what I mean by I don't forget. I don't forget to move in caution to the things around me that I know can harm me, because they've already harmed me or they've tried to harm me. I keep pushing, and I seek the protection of Allah, and all I do is that He will remove those type of situations from me so I don't have to deal with them. And I go back to doing what I'm doing after that, brother, because after that I left it in the hands of Allah, and He knows best, and He's going to do what He needs to do. Keep pushing. See, I call you to attention. I call you to attention of one of the most explicit laws you could ever follow. Do not call that upon your brother that you would not call that upon yourself. Because the second you call it upon your brother, I hope you realize that in the eyes of Allah, you've already judged and condemned yourself for Him to adjudicate the situation. And if you know you got skeletons in your closet, one thing about Allah is if you sit there and you try to dispose of one of His followers in an unrighteous mannerism, Allah gonna make sure you get everything you could ever ask for. Because like I said, come to me and say, Sadiq, I didn't mean to. Can you pray to God and ask for my forgiveness? Brother, I already prayed to God and asked Him to judge you. I'm not gonna switch up now. I'm not gonna switch up now. Maybe in my prayer, Allah will grant you forgiveness because that's how He judged you. Maybe He judged you as stupid and you just didn't know no better. And He said, you know what, Sadiq, we're gonna forgive you. Alhamdulillah. That's your word. We don't do that. Stop listening. That's what we're gonna do. Allah, you said forgive him, we're gonna forgive him. Allah said, yo, you know what, I'm gonna crush him. All right, Allah, crush him. I'm gonna be over here. I'm gonna stay out the way because I know when you start crushing things, it might not turn out good the way I want. So, but brothers and sisters, you understand what I'm saying? Stop minding the business of other people. Because once you stop minding other people's business that ain't your business, Allah starts making your business something that a lot of people stop minding. And you're going to find the fact that at the end of the day, you got more shit under your bed than what's inside of a cat box, nigga. And it stinks, and don't nobody want to smell it. See how that works? See how that works? See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala calls you to the judgment. He calls you to the judgment because He's telling you, whether you recognize me, whether you accept me, whether you know me, does not matter. I am still your God. That is what Allah is telling you. I'm still your God. You could go through your whole life saying up and down that you're an atheist, you don't believe in me, but God, da 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 da. And then when your ass drop dead and you're sitting in front of me, you know what you're going to be talking about? He's going to be like, oh, wait a second, don't even worry. Don't even worry about it. You ain't here for judgment. I'm not. Nope. You was judged the second you said you didn't believe in me. You see how that works? See, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us all the time. He tells us all the time. Watch the things that come out of your mouth because they will condemn you to the judgment of me. It will condemn you to the judgment of me. And I hate to say this, but I'm going to call a spade a spade. I told you that perfection is hard to reach, right? It's hard to reach. I can tell you right now the only way you're ever going to reach perfection. You got to die. You got to die and hope that the judgment comes back good and He presses the reset button. Right? But it's like, Sadiq, I want to do that. I want to do that. I know you don't. So just strive. Strive for perfection. Strive for perfection with the life you have. Strive for perfection with the life you have. Strive to be upright, to be honest, to be truthful, to be sincere, to be a reflection of your Creator in the eyes of all those around you. Seek that. And that's the best thing you can do. Because trying to play perfect, you're going to find out you're a perfect failure. Because you ain't never going to be able to do everything right. You ain't never going to be able to do everything right. So I say this, brothers and sisters. And I'm going to say this because the fact that I have the ability to say this by the power that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has granted in me, that I can make these type of statements and know that Allah's going to do it. So I'm going to say this. This is the Prophet Sadiq Hamid ibn Allah asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give those people a pass that didn't know no better and judge them from this point. Now that the message has been displayed to them and I've spoken on it, point blank period, for everybody to know it. You know I send these messages out. I send them out on YouTube and the angels do the rest. I don't know what the heck going on, but I know that they do it, so I know you heard it. So we ain't even gotta act like you didn't. So at the end of the day, the message is out there. Allah carried it into the world. It's been spoken. So I will ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for the power that he had granted upon me as his prophet to grant forgiveness to those that were ignorant at the time that they made the decision of doing the things that they did. Because we don't want to judge anybody unfairly. We don't want to judge anybody in their ignorant state. Now, if they're being niggardly, literally meaning the fact that now it's willful opposition, it's willfully, you know what I'm saying, willfully being disobedient or willfully being one that's filled with animosity and aggression. Okay, in that case then, Allah gonna judge you for that which you intended to do. See, Allah's gonna judge you for that which you intended to do. But I ask that Allah forgive those that outside of an intention didn't know what they were doing. They didn't know no better. Because a lot of times people don't know no better. A lot of times people don't realize that they're calling down judgment on somebody that's walking with God, and they don't realize that literally that's one of God's best friends, and God literally like, what do you want me to do about it? What you want me to do about it? What you want me to do about it? Everybody's like, God really does it? Yes, God really does it. God will really ask one of his own, what do you want me to do about it? And if you don't believe me that that is the truth, I'm going to show you a prime example of that, brother. Gideon prayed to God about all of the ones that came to fight him. And he told God, he said, you know what, I'm outnumbered. And God said, what do you want me to do about it? He said, subdue them. He said, subdue them? Okay. You know what happened the next morning? What happened the next morning is Gideon woke up, his soldiers woke up, and there was 185,000 dead people laying in the ground. So if you really want to know if God will grant one of his own, whatever they ask for, yeah, buddy. Yeah, buddy. Dang right he will. That's one of the things he gives you once you've committed yourself to him fully. He gives you that ability to ask and you shall receive. He gives you the ability. So I'm going to tell you what. Ask and you shall receive. I'm granting you, in the name of Allah, your forgiveness in your past. I'm saying it. There's a forgiveness in the past right now for those that did not know no better. Now, like I said, there's a level to my forgiveness. I forgive on a different level than Allah forgives. Allah, you forgive him. Alhamdulillah, but I'm not going to forget him. Which brings me to the classification of my second point. Because I just have to clarify this. If I cast you out of my life, know that I casted you out of my life for the glory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and that by which he will. Just a chapter of my life that got closed. Just a chapter of my life that got closed. That's Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brings you back into my life on his terms, which literally means that you're coming back in my life under the submission of Allah, under the flag of Islam. I really ain't got nothing to say to you. That's why I got rid of you. Okay? Sometimes it hurts. I made sacrifices I didn't want to make. I made a sacrifice where I had to walk away from somebody that, at the end of the day, it's killing me because I love the kids. I love the kids. They like my kids. But, you know, when you're dealing with somebody that just is whatever, we ain't going to get into that. Allah knows best. I'm just going to leave it at that. It is what it is. Allah knows best. Allah knows best. But I'm that person. When I cut you off, I cut you off. When I cut you off now on a whole different degree of when I used to cut you off. See, I used to cut you off and then be like, dang, you know what, Nation? He was just being a little hard. He was just being a little hard on, bro. You know how you get sometimes. You get in a little groove, bro, and the next thing you know, you just don't want to deal with nobody. Okay? How many times I got to tell you? That man got buried. Literally. Allah called me to him and took that man from me. I'm still who I used to be in the aspect of I still remember everything that I did. I still remember how I get down. I still get down how I get down. But now I get down how I get down in the glory of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh, I know people heard me say it earlier, but I'm gonna say it again. The difference is now, if I gotta slap the hell out you, I'm gonna wait a little bit before I do it. I'm gonna ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, am I making the right decision? Am I making the right decision? And if you keep walking up and slap me, I'm gonna slap the shit out you. I'm just gonna say I did it for the glory of Allah. They're gonna be everybody's like, Sadiq, is that even possible? How did you slap him for the glory of Allah? Because I'm gonna tell you how I slapped him for the glory of Allah. And I kept giving him a warning, I kept giving him a warning, kept giving him a warning, and then I slapped him. And the good thing, I was the one that slapped him and I wasn't the one that shot him. Maybe he'll take this as a lesson of the fact that his mouth keep getting him into something that his butt can't get him out of. So maybe that little smack I gave him was nothing more than when you tap your little toddler on the butt because they keep touching the stove. That's hot, stop doing it. 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 That's snap. Hey, listen, bro. It's better that you crying because I hit you than you crying because you got burnt. That's how you bring the discipline of Allah into the world for the glory of Allah. Alhamdulillah. Brothers and sisters, this is the message for today. And I'm going to surmise it with these two words. Judge by judgment. 3 words, sorry, I put by it. Judge by judgment. What do I mean? Judge according to the degree of what you want to face on your day of judgment. If you want to be judged harshly, go ahead. Judge everybody in this however you want to judge them. Judge everybody however you want to judge them. If you want that type of smoke, if you want to say to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, on my day of judgment, I want you to go so hard on me. I want you to go so hard on me that I don't have no wiggle. That's what you want? That's what you telling me? That's what you want. Why not? Allah said and said, boy, are you serious? Because I'm going to tell you what. If I go that hard on you, boy, ain't nobody getting into paradise. If I judge people, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala judge people to the level and the degree of that which people judge others, boy, I know you ain't ever make it in the Jannah. It's that simple. It literally is that simple. It's that simple. Because mashallah, Allah willing, you will find in life that to judge somebody in a mannerism that is disrespectful and degrading is to condemn yourself to the old jurisdiction of the same things that you casted upon somebody else. It's that simple. It is that simple. Like I said, Allahu Alam, Allah knows best. Mashallah, by Allah's will. Allah willing. Let me correct that because I said it before and I gave the wrong definition to it. And like I said, I'm a sincere speaker of truth. I do not want anybody to be misled. So the true definition of mashallah literally means if Allah wills. Allah knows best, it's Allahu Alam. Allahu Alam. Allah. Literally. But I'll say that to close. Judge not lest he be judged first. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Ar-Rahmanir-Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdina siratal mustaqim. Siratal ladzina an'amta alayhim. Ghayril maghdubi alayhim waladdallin.